in front. Ebremont is back.
With an impressive win in the Gotham Stakes, Badge has become somewhat of a local hero and has stepped right into the Kentucky Derby picture. A place his trainer, Joe Aquilino, never dreamed he'd be, as he was just training horses as a hobby after retiring from the New York City Fire Department.
So I just kind of liked working with horses and messing around with them, and hope to win a cheap claiming race or something like that, just have a little fun, you know, when I got out of the fire department, you know, get my little pension and something to play around with, and it's been developing pretty good.
That development is due in part to new owner Jim Vena, president and CEO of a commodities brokerage company on Long Island.
I guess about 3 years ago, sort of going through maybe like a sort of midlife crisis. I started my own business when I was 25. So 3 years ago I was, I guess, 12 years older than 25. And it appealed to me to buy a racehorse. I was with somebody. One day he took me to the track that owned a racehorse. My father's always been into racing. I was at Belmont Park when Secretariat won the Belmont Stakes, you know, with my father. I said this would be kind of a nice hobby to have. Bought one, claimed him, was introduced to Joe, who turned out to be a longtime friend of the family. And he kind of guided me, said just buy one, see if you like it, we can go on from there. We claimed one, I liked it, and about 7 months later, I think maybe 7 months, a year, incorporated Southbelle stable, said this is going to be a new business.
Aquilino advised Jim to purchase a package of yearlings whose breeding he was very familiar with, having worked with both the sires and the dams. And one of those was named, one time?
Badge, previous name was One Time, Air Forbes 1, and Revenge Time. And I sort of got on a kick about, I guess about a year and a half ago or a year ago. I vacationed with my family in Antigua all the time. I've always been a big Eric Clapton fan. He was building a drug rehab hospital in Antigua, and it kind of occurred to me, you know, maybe I'll name some horses after Eric Clapton songs sort of as a tribute. So I rushed back and I changed One Time to Badge and started naming all the yearlings and all the babies after Eric Clapton songs.
Badge turned out to be a tough customer from the very beginning.
He is kind of a bully. As a baby, he would run through fences. You see the scars he had on him and things like that, you know.
He continued having things his own way at the track, like at Saratoga last summer.
When we got up there last summer, the first couple of nights he would bust through the webbing and we'd find him loose running around the, I think two of my help, Mikey one time found him loose, you know, and but he was just eating grass, and in the morning we found him and we put him back in the stall. One time he ripped the whole door frame. Right, we were over on the harness track when we first got there, and he took the webbing, the screw eyes, the door frame, everything came out, you know.
Jockey Sean Bridgemohan knows he can be a bully, but he doesn't mind.
The way he split horses, I know he can be that way, because he got knocked down leaving the 3/8 pole, and I mean, it didn't even matter to him. In less than 3 strides, he was back on his foot, and he just went on about his business. And this is a kind of horse, he's got a good personality. He knows when he wins, and he knows what he's got to do to win. The day I rode him in the best turn, I mean, everybody told me I was beating a horse at the 8th pole, and energy from nowhere came, and he kicked in at the 16th pole and drew off real good. And he was like 75% at that point.
But for the horses that have to go on for the bigger races, whether they're going to be Wood Memorial Derbies or with the big fields, you have to have a bully kind of horse. You know, the horses that, when they get in a field that big and you get a little dirt in your face and you get bumped a little bit, the more timid horses will say, let me get out of here, I don't want this, you know, and the street fighters are the ones that they go through, they go on, you know, and we hope he's that kind of horse.
To have a horse run in the Kentucky Derby is every owner's dream, but Jim Vena is taking it all in stride.
Nothing's really changed. I mean, I think I made a comment to the interviewer in the racing forum. I woke up the next morning, he asked me the same question, and I said, I picked up, I guess it was Newsday, and one of the handicappers in Newsday had Badge in the top 10, and I run to my wife, I said, you know, they got him on Triple Crown watch. And she said, well, that's real nice. Now, you know, walk the dog and take out the garbage. Drove the kids to school. I coached a Little League thing last night, so nothing's changed.
except for the phone ringing off the hook with 7-figure offers to buy Badge. So, will Vena sell his colt?
I think I'm going to stand by my Badge. It's all tempting, it's flattering, but that's not really why I got in this. You know, I got in this for the sport. I mentioned to you before, you know, when I go to the track, I don't gamble on racehorses. I'll play my birthday in a triple, or my wife's birthday in a pick 3. What I do every day in my real profession as a commodity, that's a real gamble. You know, that's the adrenaline. This is more for the sport of it. So the offers are flattering. I guess I need to listen to everything, and that's just my head tells me I need to do that. But my heart tells me that I am sort of 95% at this point convinced that I'm not going to sell the whole horse. I don't think you could buy this that we're going through now, so I could just imagine what it must be like to go to the next step.